On Britain's streets, a battle is raging. Over 11 million of us rent.
Oh, God.
But thousands fall victim to rogue landlords.
There's just water cascading through here.
Why should I live like this?
2 million of us are private landlords.
He's owed almost £10,000 in rent.
But many face financial ruin at the hands of bad tenants.
You're supposed to be out by yesterday.
Well, we're still here.
Get your hands up.
Don't push.
And that is what you're dealing with.
In this series, we're on the front line with the enforcement officers who crack down on rogue landlords.
There's a lot of scams going on.
This is gross exploitation. It just can't continue.
And the experts whose job it is to evict bad tenants.
This kind of stunt boils my blood.
It can be a little bit scary at times.
Hey! We're called the police.
In this episode,
Dear me.
a bedsit fire exposes a rogue landlord.
This is ridiculous. Someone could have died here.
This is the one, yeah.
An eviction lawyer makes a tough decision.
You've caused my client so much grief.
I have nowhere to go.
And High Court sheriffs confront angry tenants.
I want to speak normal, yeah?
Just start laying your hands on me again. You'll be going out there a lot quicker, OK?
David!
4 out of 5 of Britain's private landlords own just one rental property. This means that when a tenant stops paying the rent, the result can be devastating. "32-year-old English teacher Mohammed Rahman is owed over £8,000 in rent and legal fees by his tenant Carmen. It's been almost 4 months since he last received rent for his 3-bed house, and he's in deep financial trouble.
The rent started coming in late, and I had to keep on calling them, and they keep on coming up with excuses. And after about 9 months, my rent stopped. Financially, it's really hard for me and my wife, and it's painful in so many different ways.
Desperate, Mohammed has asked eviction specialist Paul Champlina for help. A week ago, they took his tenant Carmen to court.
We were successful in obtaining a 7-day possession order against these tenants, and now it's run out. So I want to go back and see whether this lady is in the property, and if she is, then we know that we're going to most probably have to go and get the bailiffs in. People have a perception of landlords, they're these greedy property investors that just want to make money out of people. They're just normal people, you know. 80% of landlords out there have 1 and 2 properties, you know, and it's really, really hard. Hi, Mohammed.
Morning, how are you?
How are you doing?
I'm all
Are
right.
you okay?
I'm kind of, yeah. How
You're
are
a
you?
little bit nervous, I presume.
I am, yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock on the door, see if she's here, and if she hasn't left, then we have to have a conversation about how we need to evict the tenants.
Let's do it.
We pitch up early in the morning to try and get tenants in. Some of them would slam the door in your face, or some of them would get verbal, and sometimes they would get physical. So, yeah, you're quite jittery. You don't know who's behind that door, and you don't know what reaction you're going to get. All right, let's go. Hello? Hello? Hi. You're the tenant? You're Carmen, yes? Yes. This is the letter explaining what happened at court. This is the landlord. You know the landlord? He's owed almost 4 months' rent.
IP.
He's had no money. He got a possession order last week. Are you going to be leaving then?
Yeah.
That was expected.
I was hoping that they'd come to their senses, either pay the rent or leave. I was really hopeful, but it didn't work out that way.
Although Carmen is the named tenant, Mohammed and Paul strongly suspect there are a lot more people living in the house, which will make the eviction more challenging.
The next time we're going to come back here is going to be with bailiffs.
Yeah.
Mohammed is desperate for his tenant to leave, not only due to the unpaid rent, but also because he wants to move his own family into the 3-bed house. At the moment, all 4 of them are sharing one room in his brother's home.
So this is basically our sleeping room, our chilling room, my work room, my children's playroom, my wife's dressing up room. Yeah, it's hard.
2 years ago, when he bought the 3-bedroom house, he planned to rent it out for a time while he saved enough to refurbish it.
There's no zip. Press it a bit harder.
But when his tenant stopped paying the rent, his life was turned upside down.
Can you do one of these shapes? It's really hard not to get angry about something like this when you're living cramped in a room.
Even though Mohammed works full-time as an English teacher, he's finding it hard to cope.
I've had to think of different ways of making money. So I thought I'd do Uber, which is quite flexible, and I can do it after school or during my holidays. It is long hours. It doesn't pay well, but it pays.
Mohammed can only hope Carmen and the other occupants move out without a fight.
At this point, where everything is falling apart, I just want that property back so I can just start afresh.
Nowhere is Britain's housing crisis more acute than in London. A lack of affordable accommodation means vulnerable tenants are often squeezed into substandard and dangerous housing. In northwest London, there's been a fire at an unlicensed HMO, a house in multiple occupation. Housing enforcement officers Joe Smith and Andrew Sedman are on their way to investigate.
I don't know how the fire broke out, but I do know that the property does have a full automatic fire detection system. However, the fire officer said that that wasn't working.
Meeting them at the 6-bedsit property is an officer from the London Fire Brigade, as well as Joe and Andrew's colleague, Ozzy Al-Bayrak.
Hello.
Hello there, for Harrow Council.
Dear me. Got a nice picture of this.
Definitely.
According to the fire service report, the fire alarm failed to go off, but luckily only 2 of the 5 tenants were in at the time, and both managed to escape.
This is ridiculous. Someone could have died here.
Dear me.
Council housing officers and the London Fire Service are investigating a fire at an unlicensed HMO in Harrow.
Fire alarm system wasn't in operation at the time, and that was my biggest concern.
The building is currently home to 5 tenants, but the fire officer is so worried about their safety, he's called in the council.
Oh my.
Dear me.
And if you look up, it goes all the way up.
I was so lucky that the fire didn't spread, because this would have gone...
That would have gone right up.
I mean, look at the state of this. It's ridiculous. It's just so upsetting.
Upstairs, Ozzy finds one of the tenants, Victoria. The fire began in her bedsit.
I just want to make sure you're okay.
Fine.
How did the fire start?
Went to sleep, woke up, I don't know what woke me up, and the whole end of the bed was on fire.
Oh my God, you must have been so frightened.
All my stuff's burnt. These are the only clothes I've got on.
It's unclear to the housing officers exactly how the blaze started, but what is becoming apparent is that the house is beset with dangerous problems.
This house is not safe for anyone, and we're worried.
It's
I mean,
not
this is
on.
ridiculous.
And
We can't be having people staying here.
can't believe it, you know, just how quick it spreaded.
We've got a hole in a fire door, which means it's no longer a fire door because we've got a hole in it. Smoke will pour through.
Hello?
Have there no locks on the doors?
Yeah, this is someone's room.
Shocking, isn't it?
Hello, there's
Morning.
Good morning. We're from Harrow Council. We've got the fire brigade
You're
just
Harrow
having
Council, yeah, that's right.
On the ground floor, they meet 79-year-old widower and retired soldier William Ailey, who's lived here for almost a year.
This is my own personal room, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I must say, it's very well kept.
And when I moved in here, there was nothing in here. I spent quite a lot of money for all the things I got here.
Yeah, William was lovely. Were you here when the fire started, sir?
No, I was there. I was at the hospital, actually. When I came back, I seen the fire people here. I wondered what was going on, you know.
He was just so sweet, and he was sort of happy with his lot, but someone like William shouldn't really be staying in a property like that.
I'm the only one that's got a key that only fits my door. All the keys fit all the room doors up there. That should never be.
I wanted to make sure that he was safe, and the other residents of the property as well. I'm just going to plug this in and see what your wiring is like. That's interesting. That's switched off.
Get a photo of that.
Well, basically it's switched off, so there shouldn't be any noises being made. So that is, the neutral and the live have been reversed. So that is currently live, even though it's technically switched off. And I reckon that'll be the same for all the others.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Something was definitely wrong with the wiring, and that's a real concern and a real risk to the residents, because it basically meant that anything could have caught fire at any moment.
Goodness, no.
That was locked.
Yeah, I won't touch that.
Well, basically, it's an exceptionally old consumer unit, and it's got exposed wiring, which is basically mains supply, so that's 230 volts right there. If you touch that, you're electrocuted.
My carer, she came to clean there one day. When she got over the handle to wipe clean everything there, she screamed. I came rushing out. I said, "What's the matter?" And she said, "It's all live, it electrocuted me." She never came back, never to come back to work. I had to get someone else.
I'm not surprised, that's terrible.
Great call point. Look at that. I'm disgusted at the property. It really is in an atrocious state.
By law, the landlord should have electrical and fire safety certificates for the property. Joe wants to see them and calls the landlord.
Hello there, Mr. Shah. My name's Jo Smith. I'm from Harrow Council Environmental Health. You're aware that there was a fire there over the weekend, yes? Right. Well, we're here basically to inspect the damage that's been caused. I want you to provide me with an electrical safety certificate for the whole of this property. I also want you to provide me with the fire safety certificate regarding the fire alarm system, which apparently wasn't working at the time of the fire. I am telling you because I'm an enforcement officer. You need to get an electrician down here to make sure that the wiring is safe. Okay? Thank you.
The landlord might not be keen to cooperate, but Joe's prepared to fight to protect his tenants. In 2012, squatting a residential property became a criminal offence, with a maximum sentence of 6 months in jail. Lawyer Chris Sharp from the Landlord Group is on his way to serve squatters in Winsford, Cheshire, with an eviction notice.
If the occupiers are there when we get there, I will explain to them in no uncertain terms. They will have 24 hours. That is it.
Carl, the owner of the 3-bedroom bungalow, is currently away, working in Mexico. Chris suspects the squatters know that and are hoping no one will notice they've taken over his empty home.
My motivation is simply to get the people in there out, because that's what my instructions are from my clients. We hope it will be peaceful and we hope it will be straightforward. We don't want any problems. So if you can see, sir, a lovely little suburban street, and then you've got this. It is just a wreck. These people just have no regard whatsoever. It's been broken into, you can see where it's been broken into. Can't hear anyone, but there's definitely a dog in there.
Now the eviction notice is served, the squatters have just 24 hours to get out or face arrest.
Oh, just as homely around the back as well. Oh, it's a beautiful dog. Look at that dog. When I turn up to a property to serve notice, if there's nobody there other than that lovely little dog, I'm quite relieved because it just negates any potential for confrontation. I'm just going to give Carl a call now.
Hello?
Carl, I'm at your property. I've served the papers. There's nobody in. There is a dog here, but the place is a real mess, Carl. You know, you've got a lovely street here, and then you've got your house, which is it looks like they've just trashed it. It's just terrible. Round the back's the same as well.
Oh, dear. Okay.
How are you feeling?
Well, I'm upset now. I'm worried now. I mean, let's just wait and see what happens.
Okay. Thanks, Carl. I'll speak to you soon.
All right. Thanks for your help, Chris.
Here you've got Carl. He's 4,000 miles away, and they're pulling this stump behind his back. How frustrated must he be? I'm frustrated, and it's not my property. And whoever's doing it, they need dealing with.
Less than 24 hours after visiting the fire-damaged property, Harrow Council Enforcement Officer Joe Smith is back.
It's upsetting, really, to see people live in a state like this.
Disturbed by the rundown conditions and dangerous wiring, Joe has issued an emergency prohibition order, in effect declaring the property unfit for habitation.
Because the electrics are shot for the whole property, I don't think it's personally safe for any of the tenants to be here. So we're effectively making people homeless, and it's something that we do not take lightly. The last thing we want to do is make people homeless, but in this situation, their welfare meant that they couldn't stay at the property because it was unsafe, and I didn't want to have that on my conscience. If another fire had happened in that property, I don't think I could have lived with myself having known about it and not done anything.
Joe needs to let the 5 tenants know it's too dangerous to stay here and they have to leave.
Hiya.
Hi.
I just wanted to give this to you. It's a copy of the prohibition order.
You ain't condemning the building, are you? Are you? Really?
Yeah, that's a prohibition order that basically says that it shouldn't be lived in.
But at the end of the day, like, it's a roof over our head.
It is, but I'm more concerned for your health and safety,
yeah.
so...
I appreciate that. Nice to meet you, Joe. Okay, so we got the housing with this tomorrow, okay? Right then, Joe. Thank you, yeah?
Downstairs, Joe has to explain to 79-year-old William that he's just lost his home.
Telling William and the other tenants that they weren't allowed to stay in the property was difficult because they didn't really fully comprehend the nature of the danger, and they were reluctant to leave, understandably so, but with William it was exceptionally difficult. So it does mean that you have to present yourself down to the council officers as homeless. You will be placed in temporary accommodation until a proper, safe house can be found for you.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Many thanks indeed. Thank you for your help.
No problem, William. Thank you. Just shut this behind you. Okay, thank you.
I have rheumatoid arthritis and I've had 2 hip replacements. I have to live in a place on ground level. I cannot use stairs, I'm not allowed to use staircases. And that's it. So finding places like that's not easy either. So we'll see what happens.
To ensure the landlord receives the prohibition order, Joe decides to deliver it in person.
Until he carries out the electrical works that I've specified in the order, he won't be able to use it as residential accommodation. Here. Very nice. Hello there, can I speak to Mr. Shah, please? Hello there, sorry to disturb you. My name's Joe Smith, I'm from Harrow Council. I just wanted you to give this to Mr. Shah, please.
Yes, sure.
Okay, it's basically a prohibition order. Is Mr. Shah in at all?
He's going to work.
He's at work?
Yeah.
Okay, but...
If you come here, I'm telling you to pay.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Goodbye.
Now Joe has served the prohibition order, Mr. Shah is forbidden from renting out rooms until he carries out the council's demands. It's 6:30 a.m. and English teacher Mohammed Rahman is heading to his rental property. In less than an hour, High Court sheriffs are set to evict his tenant, Carmen, and anyone else living in his home.
I've been looking forward to this day since like 4 months now. I just want it to be over and just done. I just want to get it over and done with.
Even though the eviction order gave his tenant 7 days to leave, Mohammed's legal advisor, Paul Champlina, is not feeling optimistic.
You know, when there's months and months of court cases and there's letters and there's confrontation, tenants still don't understand that they're going to be evicted. They think that day's not going to come. So when we turn up and that happens, then emotions run really high. So I was really, really nervous driving to that eviction. Hi, Mohammed.
Hey, morning, how are you?
A miserable day in Ilford.
It is.
We're 15 minutes away. It may kick off. We've got to make sure that we manage that properly. And if it does and they refuse to leave, then we call the police.
A few minutes before 7, High Court Sheriff Scott Hines turns up.
Hi, Scott. Hi, mate. You all right? It's just over there. The lights are on. Someone's in there, Scott.
Morning. Do you want to open the door for me, please? Yeah. Hello. I'm an enforcement agent. This is High Court writ of possession. You're leaving this morning, yes? This tells me that you have to leave. Come in, please. Excuse me. Madam, you need to start packing for me, please.
Who is doing?
Mohammed is now owed over £8,000 in rent and legal fees, money he's having to make up by working 2 jobs 7 days a week.
This is High Court writ of possession.
Yeah.
Now you need leave.
Don't come like this, yeah?
Listen, don't start shouting.
Don't come like this, yeah?
Let me come in.
Why
Don't start.
Get out.
Don't start doing that.
Well,
Start
why are
threatening
you
me.
going
You
for my
don't scare
children?
me
Why?
whatsoever.
You wanna fight? I want to speak normal, yeah? Yeah, children, small.
You're shouting.
Don't come inside, yeah? You wanna fight? I want to speak normal, yeah?
High Court Sheriff Scott Hines is trying to evict Mohammed Rahman's tenant from a 3-bed property in Ilford.
I'm going to be honest with you. We can do this 2 ways, okay? The first way is I help you pack a bag and I help you carry it out. The second way is you're going to be carried out as well, which I really don't want to do. But you are leaving, so now you make a decision of how you want to leave. Because you are leaving.
When we tell them they've got half an hour to bag their stuff up and leave, then the reality kicks in and then all the emotions come out. If someone becomes aggressive, then it becomes a different scenario.
Hey, children, come on!
Some people will try and intimidate so that it doesn't go ahead.
Please, please.
Get your hands off me now, okay?
Don't push.
Don't push. Okay?
Yeah?
Don't distress.
Listen.
Calm down. We don't want to distress the children. We don't want to distress the children.
If you start laying your hands on me again, you'll be going out there a lot quicker, okay? Take your paperwork. Okay?
Listen, please.
You can look at me all you like, you can stare at me all you like, okay? You don't scare me. Now get your shoes on and leave, please. I've asked you nicely. You've started getting aggressive. Get a bag packed, get stuff for the children and leave.
With the situation getting out of control, Mohammed has called the police.
We've got a High Court sheriff in there with a High Court writ, and the occupants, tenants, won't leave.
So you need to start packing up things you need today for your children, yeah, medicines, paperwork, like your ID papers, things like that. You need to take those and get those done. You've got 45 minutes?
Yeah, if you're happy with that.
3/4 of an hour to do that, but you've got no choice, you have to go.
I just feel really sorry for the children that have to go through all this. It's just really distressing.
When the kids were crying, I felt bad for them. I mean, who wouldn't? But I put the blame solely on the parents because the parents knew exactly what was going to happen. If they really cared about their children, then they would have made sure the children weren't there.
Realising the game's up, events take a surprising turn. The man who was refusing to leave casually walks off with 2 of the children.
When I saw that they didn't have any bags and it didn't look like they were actually moving, I was just so angry. They live somewhere else. So I've just seen them just walking to the house. They live in that property. So they just live right across from my house.
See ya. Bye-bye. Bye. Take care.
At Mohammed's house, there's another surprise.
There were 7 upstairs.
It appears his tenant Carmen may have been subletting rooms in the house.
Allegedly, she was charging 600-800 quid a month. She was making money. I suspected there could be more people in the property, but I didn't have a clue at that point. And of course, if the police hadn't have turned up, God knows what would have happened. You know, the brother who was kicking off could have shouted down and, you know, all hell could have broke loose. So, yeah, it was a fractious situation.
Could you just sign there for me, please? Yeah.
Now Scott's sure everyone's left, Mohammed can finally have his home back.
Well done, Scott. You've done a really good job.
No problem.
Very, very good.
I earned me money today, haven't I?
You've earned your money.
Look at the garden.
Huh?
Rubbish that they left there.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's disgusting.
None of that was yours?
None of that was mine. None of this is mine.
You're going to have to skip all this.
I am, and that's going to
cost you more money.
It's not just the garden that's a shock. They soon discover that every space has been converted into a bedroom.
This is supposed to be the dining room, the lounge, but this isn't a bedroom.
They're double beds. Most probably 2 people were sleeping in each bed, trying to maximise as much money as possible. She's still outside, the woman.
Still outside, yeah.
I think you might need to leave someone in here.
Yeah, I'm just going to call my brother, because if I go work, I can't have no one coming in here.
Who's to say they're not going to break back in? What do they want? Nice.
One of the women called me a terrorist, another one called me ISIS. I mean, I tried to give it a show that I wasn't scared, I wasn't intimidated, but it did feel like a war, and it was a war that I was always losing. I just have this feeling that it's not over yet. With these guys, they just come up with surprises. Because I know they've just gone down the road They're probably just waiting for that house to be empty. I'm just thinking, what's going to happen next?
It's 2 days since Harrow Council Enforcement Officer Joe Smith served the landlord, Mr. Shah, with a prohibition order. Now she's back at his fire-damaged property to meet him and lay down the law.
Mr. Shah?
Yes, sir.
Hello there. Joe Smith, Harrow Council, Environmental Health.
Yeah.
Hello there, you're the owner of this
Yes,
lovely property.
Until the faulty wiring and fire hazards are sorted, Mr. Shah is forbidden to rent out rooms here.
As you know, I've prohibited the use of this property until the wiring is of a standard that I'm happy with it.
You want the electric certificate, right?
Yes, because
it is. If nobody's living here.
If no one's living here, then
it's pointless.
well, no, because if you want to have people back in here, I need to know that it's safe.
That's not the issue.
Well, no, but
That's not the issue. Once you close it down,
yeah,
then it's down to me to do whatever work is required.
yes, and if you want the prohibition order lifted, you need to provide me with that certificate.
Then there's no prohibition.
It's dangerous, which is why I prohibited the use of it, because people have been electrocuted. It was actually showing us live whilst the socket was switched off, and that was what was concerning me.
Good socket switched off.
Well, they were all doing it.
All of them?
All of them, and then whoever installed your fire alarm system really did not know what they were doing, because it was switched on when the fire brigade came.
No, it was off.
No, it was on. On their fire report, it was on.
It was off.
Either way, this has happened and it needs to be resolved. We have to cut all emotion with things like this, because otherwise you never get anything done. All we wanted to do was make the property safe, make sure that the tenants were safe and bring it back into use. Get me electrical safety certificate, get it all checked out, send me the report, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Sure.
Okay?
Okay.
Mr. Shah must fulfil Joe's demands before he can rent out any of the bedsids. But one of his former tenants, 79-year-old William, has no intention of returning, as he has a new home.
This is the lounge room in the bedroom. The council offered this accommodation for me. They said they got something for me straight away. They got the transport for me. They packed everything for me. They brought it here, brought everything in. I never had to do anything. It didn't cost me a penny. The other place where I was, it was a third of the size of this place here. And just here is the bathroom, toilet.
I don't want to make anybody homeless, let alone someone like William, who is absolutely lovely and really did affect me in that respect. And now I know that he's somewhere safe, he's warm, he has a lock on the door, he has heating and lighting that works and is not going to electrocute him with the touch of a switch. It's brilliant. And I love the fact that he's now safe and well.
It's really good, really good. It's peaceful and quiet, you know. The neighbourhood is peaceful as well here. It's very good. It's a godsend.
Lawyer Chris Sharp and Cheshire Police are on their way to evict squatters from a 3-bedroom bungalow in Cheshire.
It's 4:15 in the morning over at Mexico, where Carl is, and I know he's awake, and I know he's very apprehensive about what's going to happen in the next 5-10 minutes.
Earlier this week, Chris obtained a court order giving the squatters just 24 hours to get out. That deadline has now passed, and anyone still in the property is in danger of arrest.
The very nature of a squatter's action is that you never quite know what you might meet or expect. You don't know if you're going to get friendly people or hostile people. So there's always a sense of anxiety. Well, somebody's been back because I've taken our last notifications off. on the back. This is the one, yeah.
Hello? No? Don't let the dog out.
Don't let the dog out. Right, we're in.
Hello, please. Everybody in?
Obviously, signs it's being used.
No one's home, but it's clear someone is still living here.
That television's on. This heater, still on. People are still living here. They're still using this place. What legitimate tenant uses this modern locking device? It's like a railway sleeper.
Chris will have to try and secure the property before the squatter or squatters return. But for now, the police's job here is done.
Guys, I'm sure you've got better things to be doing. Thank you ever so much.
No problem at all.
Thank you for your help.
Soon after the police leave, a woman appears at the back door.
Hello. How are you? You know that if you'd have been here about an hour ago, you'd have been arrested. You can't come in.
Lawyer Chris Sharp has been tasked with evicting squatters from a property owned by a landlord living in Mexico. One of the squatters, Cassandra, has just turned up.
It's a criminal offence for you to be in this property. If you'd have been here this morning, you would have been arrested because we had 4 police officers here this morning. So it's up to you what you want to do, but you're not coming in.
Okay. Okay. I understand. I was just looking for somewhere to live. I was made up that I had a roof to get over my head to go to.
Cassandra has been squatting in the bungalow for at least 6 weeks.
The builders are going to be securing it.
Okay.
Nobody can come back in then.
Okay.
So if you need a hand with some of your gear,
Okay.
we can get it for you.
Okay.
Do you want to come in and show me what is yours?
Everything in there is mine. Obviously, I'm not going to get a chance to get this stuff, am I?
Well, we can put it outside for you. That's not a problem.
Okay. My children aren't living with me at the moment. I suffered badly with my back due to an accident I had. So I was finished in care work, which I loved, and if I'm honest, things I started going downhill when I lost my job. In the previous property I was in, I had my benefits stopped a couple of times, and my arrears just went mounting up and I couldn't catch up. And I've become further and further behind. And this is the outcome. I was just made up to have somewhere to go.
This is the real ugly side. Carl's 4,000 miles away, his house is getting ruined, and yet on the other side you've got Cassandra here. She is in a terrible position as well. There's no happy ending. Not for Carl, not for Cassandra. It's a shocking situation, it really is. That moment that you realise the desperate situation of some individuals, she looked broken. That is a very difficult part of my job.
That's pretty much what I can take for now.
When we started this process, we knew we were dealing with something underhand. But what's come to the surface is clearly a very vulnerable individual. We've still got to deal with this, but this shouldn't be on Carl's shoulders. This is not his problem to carry.
I guess I'll try and stay on a friend's sofa for now and go from there.
It's 3 months since Mohammed Rahman evicted his tenant, Carmen. And a lot has happened at the 3-bed house in Ilford.
This is my house. My kingdom. My pride. We're doing a bit of an extension. It's for my children. We've stayed in such a cramped place. I just want to show them that we can do better and we can make a bigger space for them to run around and grow up in.
His tenant left owing him over £8,000 in unpaid rent and legal fees, money he's unlikely to see again. But despite being broke, he's determined to create a comfortable home for his family.
Basically, I've maxed out on my credit cards, maxed out on the amount of people that I'm asking to borrow money from, and I'm also doing Uber in my free time, after school, weekends, but we'll have a wonderful home to move into. So this is the first floor. Now I can say first floor because we're going to have another floor upstairs.
His former tenant, Carmen, and her relatives still live around the corner, but so far it seems they've decided to leave him alone.
I don't see any problems. As long as they keep out of my way and my children's way and my wife's way, I'm happy with that. I just want to start a new chapter, a new page, and just forget about it. I'm just trying to look to the future. Just excited and looking forward to getting this house done.
Next time.
Dog crap on the curtains.
An internet celebrity leaves her landlords right in it.
Little box of poos.
Chris Sharp uncovers a drugs den in Chelmsford.
Look at how they're living. There's needles everywhere.
No, don't touch my door!
And Paul Champlina tackles an angry tenant.
Hey! We call the police.